Okay, the last few days I made some videos and I deleted them. And it was about life in Narcissism Ville. This is what I call it, Narcissism Ville. And the thing about it, I had 3 of them back to back that just were things that really bothered me. One of them was I was by myself this time, and I went to a bookstore, and I usually go with Adam. And I've gotten I've noticed over time, over the years, I should say, that at that particular bookstore, it's just a regular bookstore, that men around my age seem to think that is a good place to go to find a woman. Okay. And I noticed that, but like I said, I was usually always with him, and still I could see it. And I went there the other day, and I was by myself, and I went to see, books for women's fiction. And they had a clearance, they sell them for like $2. And they're older books, used books. And when I did, all of a sudden, since when are men interested in women's fiction? And it annoyed me, really, seriously annoyed me. And I've been in there before when he wasn't next to me or something, and that's happened. But this time it really happened, because I think it was like 3 or 4 men around my age, and that was like, a lot of women can understand, I think, I'm not there for that, and it's like you're being pounced on, practically, just going in there to, buy a book or books, and that happening. And that was the first thing. Okay, from there I left. I was trying to find a particular thing, and I thought I could find it in this one particular store. It's a chain store, but I told myself I would never go to this store, that chain again. But now this particular store, location I had been to and never had a problem. So, I was on my way back, so I said I'll just stop there and try to find this one thing. And on my way through the store, I found something for the dogs and put it in I had one of those little shopping carts, not the big ones, but the little ones. And so I put it in that, and then I was walking, and I went to find that one particular thing. And when I did, there was a woman. She came out of she was an elderly woman, old enough to be my mother, I would say. And she came out of the aisle and almost hit me. And she, she shouldn't have been. Well, she stopped right there, just stopped. And she didn't look at me. She didn't say, pardon me, excuse me, or anything like that. Instead, she just stopped and looked at something that was on the end of the aisle right there. So I just walked around her, didn't say anything to her, just walked around. She should have apologized, kind of thing. But I didn't say anything, didn't look at her, nothing. Okay, so then, the next aisle over, I went down, because that's where this stuff seemed like it would be. And I was, at the end of it, and, went all the way down the aisle and went to the end. And, looked right next to me, got real close to it. I didn't have my readers on, so I, was close to that edge of the aisle. And, people can go either way, in either direction. So I had this small shopping cart. I'm not bigger than the small shopping cart. So I'm looking at the stuff, and you're real close to that side of the aisle, not across from the aisle or anything like that. And that woman came around, that same woman came around the corner, and she went as fast as her feet could walk, I think, and come right behind me, like she was going to hit me. And I didn't turn around, look at her or anything. And, but I could, I knew she was doing something. And she looked at me, I guess she looked at me, and she said, excuse me, she said really loud, excuse me, I need to get around. Really awful voice. I'm not even going to do how awful it was. And I did not turn around. I was putting what I was looking at back on the shelf. And I didn't turn around or anything, and I put my hand to the other side and said, you can pass right here. And I said, just like that, you can pass right here, right there. And she said, what did you say? Really mean. And I said, right there. And I pointed at it again. Didn't turn around and look at her or anything. And at that point, I was already, put it up, and I was about to move. So I went ahead, and I could hear her, make a noise or something. And I just said, that high sense of entitlement. And I walked around as I was walking, and I said, just trash. I was ticked. 2 things in a row. And I know you shouldn't say, people say don't say stuff like that and everything, But I told y'all, I'm a little bit different on this. Being a sociologist, we run into water trouble. not away. And you could say, well, you were running away. Not really. I was about to leave. Well, I got back around that corner and I thought, I should have stuck to my guns and not go back to any of these chain stores. I had called the last time before that. I had reason to call their corporate office and complain, and their corporate office was just as bad, So yeah, I decided that I wasn't going to go there anymore, okay? And it turns out Adam wants me to go there for something. And it's like, I don't think so. But, I'm going to go for this one, a different location that I have been in many times and never had a problem. I think you can figure that out. But, I decided at that point, I just left my basket there, and I thought, I'm not going to deal with this today. And I can only imagine, if people, one person at the store, and I know that that area, as I've mentioned, there's an area of this town that I live in, and the next town over, where people are, they have a high sense of entitlement. It's got a reputation in Texas, high sense of entitlement. And I just wasn't going to deal with that. I had too much going on as it was. So I go out and get in the parking lot and, get in, my car, my SUV. And I think it was that same woman. She walked to an older SUV near me, not too far. And there was another woman sitting in there. And she starts talking to her. And I'm leaving as it is. And she's talking to her. And they're laughing and laughing. Yeah. And I thought, yeah, this is somebody, these elderly people that are having fun doing this. And my thought was, this is somebody's narcissistic mother. I feel sorry for whomever it is. It's her or his narcissistic mother.